Hello number ones, welcome back to my channel. This is the Metatron speaking. Today we're going to talk about training in ancient times. So we will discuss this very popular misconception and idea and belief of people, warriors of ancient times, training with live weapons, with live blades, with real weapons. When you see this all the time, you see it in films, you see it in video games, you see these warriors, exchanging blows and trying to hit each other while they are training. And they use real weapons, because this of course creates this pathos, this crazy dangerous situation. But the question is, what did actual warriors do? Was this actually possible? Well, this is how it works. Basically, hold on a second, what time is it? Holy moly, it's already 4:30, I've got to go to the supermarket, mate. Alright then, come with me.
You see, I was just going out to buy bread, as all Italians do, and then he came to me. I started thinking about the way samurai, Romans and medieval people used to train, because of course that's what you think when you go buy bread and food, don't you? It's not just me, right? They train with live weapons in films, video games and media. How does that even make sense?
Now this is what really amazes me, how people can get confused and the line between real historical accuracy and fantasy gets blurry sometimes. People see something in a film and they automatically believe that said hypothetical situation would be plausible in ancient times.
And this is really what puzzles me. I mean, think about it. Ancient warriors, whether it be Romans, whether it be Japanese, or whether it be medieval people, and knights and soldiers, they would all train with wasters, they would train with weapons that would not deal fatal wounds. It's just as a matter of deductive logic. The idea of training with live weapons, with weapons that can actually hurt you, makes no sense. And people who actually do it, which is stupid, and in fact they normally get hurt most of the times. And I have a friend who's got quite a few scars because of it, and every time I tell him that it doesn't actually make any sense, because real warriors didn't do it.
And each time I tell him that, he replies by saying that no, that's the way you forge your warrior spirit, or whatever that means. Now that notion is preposterous. Of that I'm absolutely adamant. Please don't do it. Always train with weapons that cannot hurt you.
One thing that actually helps you out, which is something that the Romans did, was to train with weaponry, and in their case also the shield, twice as heavy as the actual battlefield weapons. Now that is using your brain. You make sure that you actually get more effective, okay? So training will be harder, and we do have like Roman writers actually mentioning that the soldiers would actually prefer battle day to training day, because of the fact that they would not have to use those really, really heavy weapons and pieces of equipment.
A feeling failing to remember everything we share. When love is sleeping, dreaming of something better, but you know it's there. All that I am is taking all that I have away, but all that I want.
Okay, so basically we have seen that this wouldn't make sense, would it? But the thing is, imagine if you have a whole army, okay? You've got the Romans, you're training your soldiers, and every time you train them, you use real weapons. Then the amount of casualties you would have in your army would be incredible, because when we imagine and we picture these scenes of warriors training with real weapons, and they're so good that they always almost kill each other, but they're always so incredibly skilled that sometimes they even scar each other. You know, it does happen. They hit each other. It's not a lethal wound, but it's a wound and things like that. But if you think about it, I mean, warriors in ancient times, they weren't all veterans to start with. You have to train first for years before you actually get to that level of experience. So what that means is that if these warriors, they had to, even the greatest warrior on the planet has to start with wooden weapons or whatever sort of alternative to live blades. This whole concept of warriors training with live weapons because they are so cool and they're so skilled that they can actually do it in order for the training to be more realistic makes absolutely no sense. So again, imagine the Romans using their actual gladius. Holy sh! So imagine the Romans training with their gladius, or gladi for the plural. Of course they wouldn't use this. They wouldn't use this because if they're trying stabbing, and in order to learn to stab, in order to optimize, you need to do it constantly, all the time. And every time you make a mistake, you become better at fencing. But if you do make a mistake and your opponent's got a real weapon and he actually slits your throat, what opportunity for learning is that? And again, as I said before, I've got this friend and I've heard a lot of people bringing up this concept, but if you're a true warrior, your spirit will be forged by pain and everything. But no, sweetheart, if you get hit by one of these in the wrong place, you are done. And please keep in mind, again, talking about the Romans, well, I think that this could be applicable, 50% a chance. Okay then. Even to medieval knights, like imagine the Crusades, okay? We already know that the greatest slayer of soldiers was disease most of the times, particularly medieval times. So, because medieval warriors and medieval soldiers were very well protected with their armor, a soldier was not replaceable. A soldier was not a sort of commodity that you just, you start having people killing each other during training and like, oh, that's fine, I'll just replace it with another one. No, particularly in medieval times, the number of people that could actually be armed was slow. Populations were a lot smaller than they are now. So a soldier was not a replaceable commodity. A soldier was someone that you wanted to preserve alive as much as possible. So good armor and training, avoiding real swords. Alright then, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember, thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content from the Metatron. Also, let me know, have you ever heard, has any of your friends ever told you this sort of idea, this idea of you have to train with real weapons and real blades in order to be a real warrior? Let me know in the comments below. And remember that now I upload daily. So I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. And remember, the Metatron has spread his wings. Goodbye.